for the Stanley Cup Final. Blue and pink throughout the arena. It's the Ben Steiners up against the Curtis Martins. One game takes all, and whoever wins after 60 minutes of hockey tonight is going home with the biggest prize in sports, the Stanley Cup, as John Gibson gets set to go against Sergei Bobrovsky between the pipes. And it's Connor McDavid versus Sidney Crosby, the two biggest players in the game. They both scored in the semifinal as we get set for the Stanley Cup Final. The towel's waving and McDavid controls out to Josi. Pietrangelo finds Stamkos on the left-hand side. Steven Stamkos out to Sidney Crosby, and Tarasenko retrieves. Josi, he cuts into the slot room, and Josi, can he have a shot? He does! Doesn't hit the net. And Kessel retrieves the loose puck, banks around his own end to Doughty. Drew Doughty finds Sidney Crosby up the middle, over to Kessel. Kessel, right-hand side. Does he have a shot? He's going to bring it behind the net, and he loses out to Josi, leaves for Stamkos, up to McDavid. Back and forth play already, barely into this one as McDavid brings it across the blue line. Connor McDavid drops to the point. That one from the point doesn't get the better of the netminder, John Gibson. As Sidney Crosby brings this one through. He got a goal and an assist in the opening of the semifinal, but he couldn't do it this time as Sergei Bobrovsky makes that save. Both teams looked strong throughout the tournament, but the key to the Curtis Martins' success has been their goaltending. They got 3 shutouts through 6 games as Austin Matthews gets set for a draw here. He does lose it and leaves for Blake Wheeler. Wheeler and Stone in the offensive zone. Out to Stamkos at the point. He loses out to Klingberg. John Klingberg, the defenseman, moves it up the ice for the Martins. Klingberg, right-hand side, banks it off the boards. And that's a turnover. Stamkos on a breakaway. Mark Stone, he misses the net. Couldn't quite get into the center. What looked like a breakaway wasn't really, as Taylor Hall controls this one. Taylor Hall, does he have a shot? He does, block it away by Bobrovsky. And Mark Giordano picks up the loose puck, brings it over to Mitch Marner. That one over to Taylor Hall, over to Matthews, he scores! Austin Matthews opens the scoring for the Curtis Martins, and they're one step closer to the Stanley Cup. It almost looked like it might have been offside there as Mitch Marner kept it on, led to Taylor Hall, and Austin Matthews finished off the chance, putting it past Sergei Bobrovsky, and just like that, it's 1-0 for the visitors, decked out in black and red. Bobrovsky couldn't get his blocker up in time there, and Austin Matthews, with his wicked shot, gets that one over the blocker and into the net to make it 1-0 10 minutes into the first period. Braden Point wins that draw and leaves for Chris Letang. Letang, right-hand side to Scheifele. Offensive forward there, banks it behind the net and loses out to Kuznetsov. Dumba at the point. Dumba poke-checked, and Rantanen has a breakaway. With his speed, Mikko Rantanen, he slows down over to Marchand, and tic-tac-toe goes astray. Neither player can get a shot off, and the Ben Steiners come up the other end of the rink. That one over to the slot, and a jumping, weird diving save by John Gibson, but the most important thing is he kept it out of the net. One of the things that I've definitely liked in this tournament is all the different teams have uniquely colored posts. The Ben Steiners with pink, the Curtis Martins with black. Something a little different than the old boring red. As Pavelski controls that one into the slot, and Couture couldn't put that one in the net. Jake Gensel across the red line. Gensel centers for Duchesne, back to Barzal. Barzal tries to center, and Dumba gets a stick in there to pick up the puck. He leads for Pavelski. Pavelski right-hand side. His shot, don't know why he'd shoot that one. Bit of a weak chance, and Barzal picks up that. He has a cross-ice pass available, but will skate this one up. Barzal brings it behind the net into Duchesne, can't get the shot off, and Letang retrieves this one. Chris Letang over to Claude Giroux. Loses out to Ekman Larsson. Giroux now, can he tie it up? Giroux's shot tries to put it through the 5-hole of John Gibson. Can't quite do it, and the Curtis Martin netminder, still in his Anaheim Ducks mask 6 games into this tournament, makes a solid save. As Mr. Mascot goes crazy behind the net, and Elias Pettersson on the draw for the Ben Steiners. Pettersson, he loses out, and John Klingberg finds it. Over to Pettersson. Can he find a shot off? Pettersson still fighting for the puck. Can't do anything, and Klingberg brings this up the ice for the Curtis Martins. Right-hand side, John Klingberg tries to fight off a check. He does, and Klingberg retrieves. Klingberg still on the puck a lot. Can't get it to Matthews for a shot. And the Ben Steiners give it up to Mark Stone over to Roman Josi. Stone into the offensive zone. Stone, slot. Will he have a shot? Stone backhand shot. Doesn't get it by. Wheeler, another shot. His shot doesn't get by either. And with 10 seconds left, that should be it. Unless a miracle happens. Maybe a late shot from Hall. Can't get it off fast enough. The Steiner defender gets his stick in there. And after one period of play, we're going to go to Curtis Martin, who's available for an interview right now. Curtis, what do you think of your team's first period?
Oh, I think they played pretty well, and to be honest, I mean, I think our team's really built around defense, and, you know, you can really see that through the multiple times that we shut down the rush, and John Gibson made, obviously, some pretty good saves to keep it 1-0, but I think the underrated part of the game has been our offense, and Austin Matthews, obviously, with that great shot, gave us the lead, so it looks like it's looking pretty good right now.
And with that, we'll go to the second period. The Curtis Martins leading 1-0 in this one as we enter the second 20 minutes of hockey. The Ben Steiners will have to find something, and find something fast. We always know that the second goal of the game is quite a big one. Either it's doubling the lead, or we're back on a level playing field as Johnny Gaudreau controls this one off the draw over to Phil Kessel. Can he make it 2 over to Crosby? Crosby gets checked as the Nova Scotia native hits the ice and leaves for Steven Stamkos for the Ben Steiners. Stamkos, can he tie it up? Steven Stamkos into the offensive zone, but poke checked by the defenseman. Amazing atmosphere inside the Vancouver Arena as Tarasenko controls up the left-hand side. Can he find a tying goal? He loses out to his check, Phil Kessel, and finds Sidney Crosby in the neutral zone. Stamkos now. Kessel over to Gaudreau, and Crosby to make it 2. Sidney Crosby holds, leaves for Doughty, a slap shot, glove save, Bobrovsky. And we're already seeing a pickup in pace in the second period. Both teams getting into this one as Drew Doughty lined up a shot right into the glove of Bobrovsky. But I think what we're seeing is the physicality being stepped up. Both Steven Stamkos and Sidney Crosby being leveled down to the ice so far 5 minutes into the second period. Pietrangelo controls over to Giordano. Scheifele now on the puck, enters the offensive zone. Blake Wheeler, will he have a shot? He holds the puck, loses out to Austin Matthews, the goal scorer. And can he make it 2? Matthews enters the offensive zone. Matthews tries to find a shot over to Werenski. His shot sticked away by Bobrovsky. Curtis Martin's control. Blocked shot. Marner can't get his shot off before Giordano gets a stick in there. And now the Mark Stone on the puck. Over to Giordano. Giordano drops down to Pettersson. Pettersson up to Wheeler. Wheeler, Mark Stone in the slot. Giordano, Mark Stone finds some space. Wheeler can't get a slap shot off. And Klingberg breaks that one up for the Curtis Martins, who come up the ice. They lose the puck to Suter. Back and forth hockey here halfway through the game. Elias Pettersson. He has quite the shot too. Can Pettersson tie it up? He drops back to Scheifele with space. Scheifele over to Suter. When will they shoot? They're just throwing the puck around. Suter down to Scheifele. Over to Wheeler in the slot. And his shot doesn't find the net as John Gibson stands in the way. Not many whistles so far here in the second period. Rather, they're letting the players play as they should with a game of this weight. As the Curtis Martins win that draw on their own end and move it up to Brad Marchand. Marchand, a little dangle. Over to point. Riley's shot blocked by Bobrovsky. And Letang controls. Leaves for Scheifele. Scheifele doesn't have much help. Now he does. Pettersson is in the slot. Mark Scheifele brings it behind the net. And that one thrown into the slot, but Brad Marchand gets a stick in there to pick up the loose puck. Marchand. He throws back. A shot from the point, a glove save from Bobrovsky. Who would have expected him to flash leather like that against Mikko Rantanen? Both goalies standing tall, but so far it's the Curtis Martins who put the one little rubber disc between the two pink pipes. And whoever does that more will win this hockey game. As Morgan Riley throws to Ekman Larsson. Ekman Larsson back to Riley, banks it off the boards. And that one finds behind the net to Barkov. Bounces around, that could have been a disaster for the Ben Steiners. And you talk about PDO, and that could have been a little bit of luck. Scheifele over to Landeskog, Barkov. Scheifele shot, diving save, Gibson. What a save. Getting his blocker across the crease as Scheifele controls. Over to Barkov. Man, I haven't seen a save that good this whole tournament. And Matt Barzal controls into the offensive zone. Over to Brad Marchand in the slot. He circles around. Can he get a shot off? Duchesne down to Barzal. Out to the point to Doughty. Shot from the slot as Barzal controls the loose puck. Bouncing around the crease. Marchand. Hedman. Doughty with space at the point. Marchand now. Hedman Doughty from the point misses the net. And finally, almost looked like it was broken up, but it's not, and the Curtis Martins keep it in the end. Finally, that offensive chance is broken up, and Barkov brings this into the offensive zone. Barkov. Pietrangelo's shot can't find net. And as the second period ends, wow, we saw an exciting period of hockey. Curtis, we'll go to you for another hit in just a couple seconds, but I think we've got to say that diving save with the blocker from Gibson could spell your path to the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, Ben. I mean, obviously, goaltending's like the most important thing on a hockey team. I think you look at all the past championships, and goaltending's what's really done it for each team. So having Gibson on our club is the most important thing, and I think he's shown it these last couple games.
John Gibson definitely in the conversation for the Conn Smythe, but that's if the Curtis Martins hold on to a 1-0 lead as we enter the final 20 minutes. Unless the Ben Steiners bring this one back to level playing field. As Connor McDavid against Sidney Crosby, 20 minutes, and we could see the Stanley Cup hoisted after this. Curtis Martins take the first step towards it, and they win the draw. Over to Crosby to make it 2-0. Crosby's shot doesn't hit the net, and rings around all the way down the boards, and they'll have to chase it. Both of the players chasing behind the net. Doughty controls that one. Flags waving, the fans trying to push their team to a tying goal as Drew Doughty centers for Crosby. And Tarasenko breaks up that chance and leaves for Josi. That could be a tripping call. It's not. Gaudreau controls. Josi tries to pick up the loose puck. Gaudreau finds it. Johnny Gaudreau, big hit from Pietrangelo. Pushes him off the puck, and Roman Josi controls. Over to Steven Stamkos. Stamkos finds space to Tarasenko. McDavid, he can't hit the net. And Kessel controls on the left-hand side. This puck bouncing around. Crosby controls out of his own zone. It's a banking it off Doughty. Doughty throws back. Space at the point is Marner. He scores! Mitch Marner makes it 2-0, and the mountain only gets bigger for the Ben Steiners as two Toronto Maple Leafs have contributed to the Guelph Curtis Martins 2-0 lead, getting the puck through traffic in front of Sergei Bobrovsky, and just like that, the task has gotten so much harder for the Ben Steiners. A hush falls over the crowd, as only speckles of black and red are the only happy ones here tonight. 14:38 remaining in the game, 2-0 lead, and bearing a miracle, it looks as though the Stanley Cup will be going to Guelph. This one over to Marner, can't get another goal in this game. Over to Blake Wheeler, finds Mark Giordano, and tic-tac-toe, they're trying to break this out of the zone. Mark Stone now. He holds the puck. He has Pettersson in the slot. Drops it back, banks it off the board to Suter. Stone now back to Suter. Stone down deep to Pettersson. Pettersson loses out to Matthews. And Taylor Hall will bring this up for the Curtis Martins with just over 10 minutes left in the third. He's checked by Suter. They'll need something fast. Suter. Does he have an option? He leaves for Wheeler. Wheeler with a bit of space into the slot for Suter. Can he get a shot off? He can't. And Mitch Marner, who already has a goal tonight, brings this up the ice. Marner, he has Matthews, the two goal scorers in the offensive zone. They lose out. Matthews tries to get that puck. Suter gets it. Leaves for Marner. And the Curtis Martins control. That one out to Riley. Finally broken up by the Ben Steiners. Over to Suter. Leaves for Landeskog up to Pettersson. Scheifele enters the offensive zone. Does he have options? He does. Landeskog misses the net. And finally that puck falls loose. Over to Parkov in the slot. Stone. Dumba with space. And Klingberg with the block. 5 minutes left now. A 2-0 lead. And it looks as though the Curtis Martins are minutes away from a Stanley Cup championship. Ekman-Larsson over to Morgan Riley. Ekman-Larsson shot from the point. Can't make it 3. Man, a third goal would really seal the deal. Brad Marchand. Under 5 minutes left now, and Ryan Suter breaks that one up. Scheifele, can they get something fast and spark a comeback? Barkov, will he get a shot off? Barkov's shot from a sharp angle, blocked by Gibson, who will hold onto the puck and calm this one down. We've played 13 games in this tournament, and the Curtis Martins have won, if they win this game, all but one of them. It's going to take quite the effort if the Ben Steiners are to find their way into this game, let alone win it. They do win the draw. Out to their defender from the point. He can't get the shot in the net. And Duchesne brings this up the ice with less than 3 minutes left now. Matt Duchesne. Loses out to Claude Giroux, and the Ben Steiners have a chance. It's a 2-on-0 over to Couture. Couture's shot misses the net. Boy, that was a big chance. They still control. Claude Giroux into the slot. Tangled up was the forward. Over to Couture. Letang at the point. The net's empty. And Gensel, can he seal the deal? Net still with the goalie in it as they were just pulling it with seconds to go. Hedman over to Duchesne. That shot blocked away by Bobrovsky. 45 seconds left. Duchesne up to Gensel, dumps it behind the boards, and that should be it. 30 seconds left. They're still controlling the offensive end. Duchesne on the backhand, and Letang finally brings this up for the Ben Steiners. They should be pulling the goalie any second, and they do. Net's empty, 6-on-5. Couture controls. He can't get the shot off, and with the empty net, they're finally bringing it up the ice. Can they seal the deal? They can't. That one off Pietrangelo's foot. But with 20 seconds left, that should be it, as the few Guelph fans are going crazy as John Gibson makes that last save. 8 seconds left. Can they seal it? They missed the net, but with 5 seconds left, we're just going to let the crowd take you home. And just like that, that's why you play the game. The Curtis Martins have won the Stanley Cup with a 2-0 win over the Ben Steiners in the Ben Steiners home arena, and the 2020 Stanley Cup champions after the COVID-19 pandemic took over the world and took away all the NHL teams are the Curtis Martins. An unbelievable defensive win, defensive tournament for the Curtis Martins. Who would have thought at the beginning of this that the Curtis Martins would be winning on away ice, let alone, and they are the Stanley Cup champions. Always amazes me a scene like this in sports. You have unbridled joy on the other side and astounding sadness on one, all just with a red line splitting the two as both teams shake hands in the most gentleman aspect of hockey. But one team is really happy with the Curtis Martins getting their name on the historic trophy. Over 100 years of history all on one massive trophy. The biggest trophy in major sports. The only one you can really drink beer out of. Can't do that out of the Super Bowl or the World Cup. And it's Mitch Marner who scored the second goal, sealing the deal. Getting the Conn Smythe Trophy, even though you think Sidney Crosby or John Gibson could have been worthy of that one. But they just want the big one, the Stanley Cup, which Sidney Crosby will come get in a moment. Curtis, what does it feel like to have won a Stanley Cup like this?
I mean, Ben, it's obviously a proud moment. I think when you look at any person that's been in this tournament, I think everyone's goal was to win. So I just wanted to give a little shout out and appreciation to Ben, Joe, everyone else that this team competed. Like, every game was a hard-fought game, and I think that defensive style is what really took us home.
It definitely did, as we see Sidney Crosby, the Nova Scotia boy, lifting up the Stanley Cup in Vancouver, but he'll be bringing it back to Guelph, where we won't see a parade, but we'll definitely have a virtual one, maybe with millions of people joining on Zoom. I'm Ben Steiner. It's been Curtis Martin alongside me for this call. We thank you for watching all these broadcasts throughout the NHL Sim Tournament. We'll be back with the NHL Sport Media Cup in a couple of days. That draft's set for Tuesday. As Phil Kessel takes his little lap with the cup, maybe he'll eat something other than a hot dog tonight. For the last time of this tournament, I'm Ben Steiner, and good night to all of you watching.